Well, good morning, traders, or whatever time you are watching this. It is morning at this end on Saturday, October 25th. It's been a long time since I have posted on the blog, certainly, although I've been fairly active on Twitter and haven't done a video for a while. But I thought I would do that. Saturday mornings for me are somewhat uh, unique, maybe, or important, I guess, to me because it gives me an opportunity to reflect on the last week. And in my case, it's often used as a time to kick myself for not doing certain things in terms of trade opportunities, trade management, and want to talk a little bit about that as I want to get back into using this forum more as a diary and a self-check than anything else. Go back to the roots of 2008, 2009, that time frame, and wanted to start, I guess, by thanking several people that some who know me and some who don't. This is a business where there is a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of questionable motives, but also a lot of wonderful people giving of their time, giving of their resources, providing information, sometimes anonymously. And I want to thank both those who you may know or may not know as I've looked at my own trading and my own life and tried to put everything in perspective. Many of you know, and I said this in the book, that I am involved in non-market endeavors, which often puts a crimp, if you will, in my trading opportunities, especially over the course of the day. It's an opportunity that I'd be foolish to stop. I have long believed and continue to believe that it is important to have a sustainable income other than trading to the extent possible, um, so that you're not trading for putting food on the table necessarily, but you're able to grow your equity. As I said in the book, it is a paradox because the more time you do that and focus on the non-market activity, the less time it allows you to focus on the opportunity. And I continue to struggle with that off and on over the course of my life. I still am very involved in that, although expect that effort to not last more than another year or so. At which point I plan on going back to trading full time. And so it's this transition period for me of being frustrated with missing opportunities or not managing opportunities optimally, and still keeping my head in the game. And I still do trade every day and preparing myself for that next phase of my life where I'll be kind of retired from the other efforts, but more fully engaged with the true passion that I have, which is trading. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And as I go through my own self-reflection and analysis, wanted to again thank some people. Linda Ratchke, first of all, she and I commiserate every now and then together, both of similar age, and she and her husband Damon from Future Path have been very helpful in terms of always providing a sounding board, a shoulder to lean on, and I am indebted to both of you. I also want to thank AWAS, also known as E-Mini Player, who has become a very good friend. We've had several chats outside of the market hours. He runs a very good and professional website, education, eminiplayer.com, and I'll provide a link on this post as well. So I appreciate that. Greg from California, we're going to be chatting here in a little bit. Also, been a very good friend. Was out here visiting recently. Has his own trading business, and the other person I wanted to mention, and he doesn't know me necessarily. We've never chatted, but I've been more active on Twitter lately. I've shied away from that for a long time. But as I've done research and try to separate the wheat from the chaff, if you will, I've come across some, with the help of others, by the way, too, come across some gems, and that's Futures Trader 71, if I am saying that correctly. And what is his Twitter handle? What is his Twitter handle? Because I just started following him. It is Futures Trader 71. You don't know me. We've never chatted, but I've been very impressed by your messaging as well as your website, and you have provided some outstanding resources. You're very giving and I appreciate that. I, for some reason, had never come across the Phantom of the Pits series, which, if you haven't come across that and you're watching this, I'm going to provide a link to Futures Trader 71's website as well. Just a really outstanding series. It was posted or created, I guess, back in the late 90s, but there are many concepts that as I'm reading through there are certainly reinforcing a lot of the things that I believe in and that I've learned over the years, and especially along the lines of keeping your losses small, creating outliers, or having larger size on when you are correct, as well as general environments. Also came across, and I tweeted yesterday, a good article, a good interview by Futures Trader 21 or 71 on the trading environments that he did for Big Mike's Trading Forum presentation, I should say, from back in the summer. So all great stuff, and I'm sharing this for no other reason than to share my appreciation for those of us who have been doing this and try to give back. You know, if I could change one thing over the last couple of years, it would be the cover of this book. And this is something that Wiley Press and I went over back and forth for a long time, and it's the picture. And it was important, certainly, to create something that had appeal, had people wanting to read the book, and unfortunately, or for whatever reason in this life, it takes sometimes a certain degree of success to get that person to gain interest and open the book. And so I kind of reluctantly agreed to go with it, as long as I could have control over the subtitle, which was My Road, Valleys, and Peaks to Final Trading Victory. And that's what's so much more important to me. And for those of you who have read the book, once you get into it, I hope that you see that it is a very humbling story of a lot of the mistakes that I made, and continue to stumble across every now and then, and how that I wanted to share that so that you could learn from that. And if it took a degree of success or a picture to gain interest or generate interest, I kind of get that from from an interest perspective, a marketing perspective, and all that. But it's so much important for me for you to turn the page on the cover very quickly and really get into the mistakes. And I was reminded of this when I was reading the Phantom of the Pits series, because it really is so less expensive to learn from other people's mistakes than it is your own. And I didn't do that. I paid a dear price and continue to pay prices at times for being stubborn, for being independent, for trying to do things on my own, when if you work hard enough and network and all that, there's so much good information out there that is available. And as the Phantom of the Pits series talks about it, we do make our own bed. We really do. But and ultimately the accountability lies with us. But we'd be foolish not to listen to others. And we may question their motives. We may question certain things, but something that we cannot question is the value of this information. A reminder that any personal profits from the book, and those of you that have written books know that there's not a whole lot really, because the publisher gets most of it. But any personal profits that I do get, however modest, 100% of it goes to charity, and I feel strongly about that. So I'm not here to promote the book. I'm wanting, though, to remind people that it's getting past that cover, and a lot of that is a packaging of this blog that had been in its heyday, if you will, from a volume perspective, in 2008, 2009, 2010, and then certainly bookended and strengthened with the trading lessons and life lessons leading up to that, and the stuff after that period of time, which was with MF Global. So right now, getting back to the beginning of this, I'm in a different phase of my life where a little bit more involved in non-market endeavors, and frankly, it's driving me insane because I love both, and I have been given the ability for to do well in both. But I also understand that you can't do one without the other. Scheduling your time around the markets is very, very important, and I fully agree with some of the people I've talked with lately, which have reminded me that well, take advantage of the times that you are able to trade. Let's say the Europe session, which I can to the extent that I can get up and manage my energy, or on morning after trend days, or evening after trend days if you're looking at the Asian markets. There are sometimes where it's been very active. Last night with the Ebola, or Thursday night, was a really good example. And it's about scheduling your time and priorities and focus around those opportunities. It becomes more of a challenge. You have less sample size, less opportunity, but it's still doable. But you have to be serious about it. And so I'm kind of taking a look at the structure of my life. I'm also continuing a bit of the hunt to surround myself with like-minded traders. If you go back again to Futures Trader 71's presentation over the summer, he talks a lot about the environment, whether you're trading in the pit, whether you're trading individually, alone, whether you're trading in a small private group, whether you're trading in a public forum, all online perhaps. The importance to find yourself alongside like-minded people, personality-wise, and all that sort of thing. And I can't echo that enough. And that's kind of where I'm at as I reach out to those that I know, those that I've worked with, some of which I've taught, some of which I just know from the trading community, and I'm continuing to carve out what I want as a trading partnership with folks of similar personalities, similar size, something where we can complement each other. And if that requires a little bit of a difference in personalities and that sort of thing, that's wonderful. But we have to be able to complement and accept each other for what that is. And when I was listening to that presentation last night, I was reminded about how difficult that is, but how important it is to have the right environment, have the right mindset. So again, my thanks to Futures Trader 71, my thanks to AWAS and Linda certainly, and there are others. I could go on. I'm 53 now. I've been trading in the markets sometimes full-time, sometimes part-time, sometimes not at all since the 90s. I continue to trade every day to some extent to at least keep my head into it. And the longer I do this, the more that I realize that it is about continuing to keep yourself humble and to avoid the mistakes and the losses and the self-inflicted wounds, and that game and that objective never ends. It never ends. Again, the picture I would change. The other thing I might change about this is the subtitle. My road, valleys, and peaks are certainly important, but to final trading victory. The word final, it was final in that it allowed me to reach an objective and fund a retirement that I had long shot for. But it really never is final. It really, and most of you, I know, understand that. It really never is final. Yes, a goal was achieved. It was a story. It was the end of a chapter. But nothing's ever final as long as we're breathing. And I might have made a change on that. And to the extent that I can continually update and refresh and that sort of thing with these sorts of things. And going back to the Phantom of the Pits article, by the way, there was a discussion in there, exchange on why the guy never wrote a book. And his point was that it would become stale because information and technology and everything changes so quickly, it becomes stale the minute it was written, which is the same idea, the idea that I didn't do this for years. But now that it's been out there for a couple of years, I want to make sure that I can continue to share additional insights. Not because who I am. I love what Phantom of the Pits has done and what Future Trader 71 has done, because we don't know who they are. We don't know their names. My name. I've believed in, at least for myself, to be completely transparent, completely open, and to personalize this business to the extent possible. But there's a risk and there's a danger of doing that because you kind of get into the risk of being viewed upon as a guru or this or that, and nothing can be farther from the truth. I have believed in personalizing this to a great extent, and to making it feel real and personal. There's no other word I can think about that. But please understand that why I've done that, why I do that. A lot of you know more about me than some of my family members. I'll continue to be very transparent as I am today. But please, this is not about me. This is not about some guy raising his arms. This is a very, very serious business. And if we don't take it seriously, and if we don't continue to strive to improve and surround ourselves with other people that really get this, or that can help offset the sorts of things that we may not be good at, or remind ourselves as we get caught up in life of the very important things, then we're missing the real true strength in this internet age, in this technology age. So no trading tips today. I'm not particularly pleased, I will say, with my trading over the past week. It's making me use this morning as an opportunity to really take a hard look at some things in terms of the time that I have available to spend at the markets, with the markets. It's been a tremendous bounty of sorts of opportunities. I'm certainly making money, but I'm sub-optimizing far too much, and I continue to believe that the three things, once you get to a certain stage in your career, that will prevent you from earning, not only consistent income, but really lots of income, is motivation, focus, and showing up. And it's those three items that I know I will always continue to struggle with. I've talked about it on the blog in the past: focus, motivation, and showing up. And a couple of times this week, including Thursday night, I was not showing up. A few other times I was not focused. And again, I'm split between two endeavors for the time being, which again I'm morphing into a change, and I'm trying to get myself aligned for that next phase. But even balancing the two, it makes that focus element during the time that you are able to trade all that much more important. So I don't want to be babbling for the rest of the morning here, but it was important for me to certainly thank some individuals out there, and to really try to look at all of my mistakes, my road valleys and peaks, to continue to help others. And that's, again, we're only as good as what we're able to pass on. None of us are going to be able to take what we have gained in our life when this phase is over, if you get my drift. And there's a great section, I'll leave you with this great section in Phantom of the Pits toward the beginning, where he talks about preparation, and the first part of that is certainly thanking your higher power. And I'll go one step further into certainly thanking God for everything that He has provided me. I will say that if you are struggling, and if you're struggling big time, and I'm struggling at times with certain phases of this game, it reminds me that I think God feels that you have the strength to handle it, and that's why you're in the situation. So that should make all of us collectively stronger. Again, we'll try to do this more often, but I had some things that I wanted to get off my chest. Update: I'm a bit more active in Twitter. I'm trying to figure out how that fits into my trading life, and I think it's a great tool when used properly. There's good stuff. There's not so much good stuff, but you got to find that out for yourself, I guess. So thank you. God bless you. Have a great trading week, and I'll try to do the same. Take care.